What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another video in the lifestyle overhaul series. So for this one, I wanted to keep this nice and simple, and I'm going to show you some of the staples that I've had around the house to help me lose just over 12 pounds in what's it been, 2.5, maybe closer to 3 weeks. So we've lost just over 12 pounds. So we're sitting at around 238, 237 right now. So we're dropping some weight. And yeah, thought it'd be useful to just make a video just showing you some of the things that it's basically just like little swap hacks that I've replaced other things with that just give me a little bit more bang for my buck. Number one on the list of things, not really a swap, but good old coffee. So we have Maxwell House because it's the cheapest one. It's usually on sale, a little bit cheaper than some of those other brands. And I don't really notice a difference, to be honest. I'm not a big coffee snob, so we just stick with some Maxwell House. Now, this isn't a swap. We've always been drinking coffee, but honestly, coffee is just one of those things that I have in the morning, and it kind of just kills that hunger signal, kind of delays it so that I'm not eating right out the get-go. I'm typically not a morning eater, so I'll usually hate to use the word fast because I feel like it's been butchered, but I will typically fast until around like 10, 11 o'clock, so a little bit later once I've woken up a bit and moved around, and then I'll kind of have my first meal. So usually I'll wake up and I'll just have some coffee. Sometimes, actually, I guess it's not really fasting because I usually put some creamer in there. Sometimes I'll put protein powder just to get my protein intake up. But honestly, lately I've just been enjoying just coffee with some creamer in it and leaving it at that. But coffee is just one of those great things where as long as you're not extremely caffeine sensitive and can handle it, it's just great way for me to start the day and gives me some energy, helps kind of control the metabolism a little bit. So yeah, that is numero uno. Another thing in terms of drinks is so obviously water, very important. However, sometimes water just doesn't cut it. So we do these little flavor water things, so little packets. Pink lemonade, this great value one, this is the go-to. It's been the go-to for like the past year. Honestly, I haven't been drinking much flavored water, but every once in a while, like during a workout, sometimes I want just something with a little bit of flavor, so I'll throw one of those packets in and then crack some salt in there, just for some added minerals. But overall, just throw it in to just kind of curb that sweet tooth, especially if you're like a person that typically would drink like full sugar sodas or juices or things like that. Switching to a diet version can just be a little bit advantageous in terms of not having calories. It's not going to give you that big glucose spike that you would normally get um, from like your sugary drinks. So having the non-nutritive sweeteners in there, it's not going to spike anything, and then it just gives you that nice satisfying flavor. Obviously, like, I'm not a big person on constantly drinking it and only drinking it. I think you should try to get as much just plain water in as you can, but if you need to add something just to kind of curb a sweet tooth, or you're really struggling with your water intake, I think it's better to just be hydrated as opposed to dehydrated, and you know add a little bit of non-nutritive sweetener to the mix. Next thing I will show, which is a very big one, is protein powder. So right now, I'm just using 6 Star because it's cheap. It can be found at Walmart, and honestly, this Fruit Loop one kind of blew my mind. I've been really enjoying this one a lot. So yeah, nothing fancy in terms of the protein powder, but an easy way to just get that protein intake up. And honestly, when I have my first actual like meal of the day, it's typically been a shake or a smoothie of some sort. Not really just a shake, because I never just mix it with like water and protein powder, but we'll usually do water, a scoop of protein, and then we'll do some psyllium husk, so just like added fiber, and then some fruits in there. Sometimes some Greek yogurt if I want to bump up the protein a little bit more. But yeah, so protein's just been kind of go-to. Sometimes I make like a high protein peanut butter spread where I'll just mix some things together, and I'll put that on like a tortilla or whatever it may be that I'm eating. So that's one of those things that I find uh, it just makes things so simple. Obviously, if you can get your protein in through whole foods, by all means do it. But if not, protein powder is just a great option to have in the back pocket for when you need to just bump that protein up a bit. On to the next. These have been like a game changer for me. So I'm not a big like bread kind of person, but I was constantly eating like wraps and tortillas, like using tortillas a lot. And I found these at Costco. So for each wrap, it is 100 calories. You get 3 grams of fat, 8.5 grams of carbs. There's 5 grams of fiber per wrap, 3 grams of sugar, and then you get 11 grams of protein in there. So it's gluten free, wheat free, dairy free, vegan friendly, everything. I will say they don't have the same consistency as like a normal tortilla. They're, I don't, honestly, I find it hard to explain what it is. It's like a dense, like, it's gonna sound weird when I say it, but like a dense, almost like wet. So like had them, I've made like burritos with them or like breakfast wraps with them, and they, even if you like kind of like grill them a bit or like put them in a pan and fry them or whatever, like once they're wrapped, it still has like this weird dense consistency to it. So if you're like a hardcore tortilla bread person, you might not enjoy these. But for me, honestly, especially given like the macros for these, so like the 5 grams of fiber, I'm getting the 11 grams of protein. It's very low in carbohydrates, low in fats. To me, it's 100% worth it to plug those tortillas in to my diet. They give me a boost in pretty much every way I'm looking for. So very handy. Honestly, they break easy, so it can be tricky to like make your wraps and stuff. But I find it, even though they kind of suck to eat in many different ways, they're still worth it to me. So I will always 100% recommend these until I find something better. They have like some keto tortillas and stuff like that, but they're so crazy expensive. These ones were a lot better priced. So I'm just going to stick with them. I'm going to just ride it out and just keep on buying these because they were a decent price. Get 12 of them. They check my boxes. Next on the list is another substitute. So I'm actually all out of it now, but these red lentil noodles, I love them. So I'm not, it's funny because I'm not a pasta eater normally. And yet now that I am dieting, I've been eating more pasta than ever, I'm pretty sure. So, but these red lentil ones are phenomenal. They're a little bit more dense. Stacy is like a carb fiend, and she's not a big fan of these. Like she would prefer not to eat these. But I honestly, I love these. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like the macros have brainwashed me into enjoying them, but I love them. So like I'll just make, like I usually make 3 servings of these, and then I split in half and have half the next day or for another meal. But just like cook up some ground beef, a little bit of pasta sauce, so spaghetti sauce, and just crush it. Macros on these. So 1 serving is 85 grams. You get 290 calories per serving, 1.5 grams of fat, 55 grams of carbs, but 10 grams of fiber, and only 2 sugar, which is great. And then you get 22 grams of protein per serving. So I make 3 servings of these. So that's 66 grams between the 3 servings. Um, but like I said, I don't eat them all in one sitting because I imagine the bloat would be brutal, especially with that fiber. But yeah, 3 servings, you're getting 30 grams of fiber between those. Like I make it into 2 meals. So 15 grams per meal. And then you're looking at 33 grams of protein per meal. Carbs are on the higher end, so you're looking at around 80 grams of carbs. But I honestly like protein, fiber, my carbs and my fat. I don't really focus too much on right now. Um, Obviously, like I want a decent amount of fats just in terms of like hormone function and everything along those lines. But I'm just I'm just eating when I'm hungry. I'm making sure that it has a good solid amount of protein. I've been really focusing on making sure that I'm hitting at least 30 grams of fiber per day. That's very important to me. And then carbs and fats, it's just kind of like whatever goes. But when you're sticking to more like whole foods and stuff like that, it's a lot harder for me to overconsume on those types of carbs. If it's like chips, then obviously it would be like through the roof with fats and carbs, but that's not the case here. So we're doing great. And then the last thing on my list is actually, might get some heat for this one, but these Prime energy drinks. So we got this case. You get 18 cans. A can is like a normal like pop can, so like 355 mils. But yeah, we went with the Prime energy drinks, and this is what I've been having as like my, I guess like my pre-workout every once in a while. I'll just have one of these. So I'm not getting like the citrulline, I'm not getting like the creatine or anything like that. That would, didn't realize I was playing with my mic, but yeah, I'm not getting like any of the beneficial supplements that would improve performance gym wise and whatnot. But at this point, that's not what matters to me. Like obviously I want to maintain as much muscle as possible, but I also want to do it on a budget. So money is tight. We don't, like I don't have money to just be dropping on a bunch of supplements, especially like if you're eating properly, you're fueling yourself properly, like supplements are really like a small percentage of like actual, not benefit, but like of your progress. Like you're not going to see life changing uh like you're not going to have life changing, I'm blanking here, but like having, consuming, like taking these supplements isn't going to just get you jacked. It's not going to get you shredded unless you are on like gear. Then I'm sure some magic happens. But um in terms of like creatine is one of the most studied ones. It's one of the ones that's recommended by most people, and has a lot of potential benefits. But are you going to see like a drastic, huge difference? Probably not. Unless you're extremely dialed, then maybe you'll see something. But for the most part, like just your average person like me, you're not going to see these crazy results from any one supplement or even like a handful of supplements. It's really like more so consistency of nutrition, consistency of training, consistency of recovery and rest. If you have those big boxes, that's going to make the most change, as opposed to the supplements. Is It's a very small sliver of progress when you're looking at that. That's like when you're dialed. But at the same time, like placebo is a very great thing. So like if you think that this supplement is changing your physique and your body, and then you're going to subconsciously start making all of these different choices that are potentially a lot more beneficial towards your progress, obviously that's like its own thing, right? So like placebo is a very powerful thing. So you might think that like, you know, your magical weight loss, your little carb, what do they call them, they're like your carb blockers are just like allowing you to eat as many carbs as you possibly want and you're still getting lean. Like chances are there's a little bit more going on there. It's probably not the product. It's probably the habits that you built around that and the mentality you have around that while you're taking it. So that's what I consider like a placebo effect. But yeah, I don't really know how that rant just got started, but um, yeah, those are like some of the things that I've found that have made this so much easier for me. So like I'm getting a decent amount of protein whenever I have a wrap now. I'm getting a decent amount of protein when I have uh, my pasta, especially like I'm mixing it with ground beef as well. So like we're getting like a good 50, 60 grams of protein depending on how much protein we're adding to the pasta when we're eating it. But like those are some significant numbers and in a very simple, easy way. So um, the pasta noodles, Costco, Costco, and like these Prime Energy, like we got 18 of them. It was like $9.99. I don't know if it was like some crazy sale right now, but it was insane. Like I wasn't didn't intend on buying any energy drinks. I was just kind of looking and I was like, holy man, these are like 10 bucks for 18. That's crazy. And then these as well are all at Costco. So like, you know, we stock up on a few essentials, like the wraps, the noodles, and then we got the bonus primes, and then yeah, Walmart for the rest. So try to keep it as cheap, cost friendly, and we're still doing it. So I'm down 12 pounds already. I'm excited to see where it goes from here, but those are just some of the staples. Hopefully they help you out. If there's anything else you can list, I'm located in Canada. I keep touching this mic today. So we don't have the crazy foods that like the States has. Like we go across the border every once in a while and it's like you see like 0 calorie chocolate. Like what is that? I'm a little jealous, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that is my food, my staples, my go-tos right now that help me hit the macros that I am looking to hit. And I just thought maybe this would be useful to you. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give this video a like. And then comment down below if there's anything, if you're in Canada, so if I can actually access the foods that you are going to list to me at a reasonable price as well. I know that there's like high protein foods or like, you know, more like keto type foods where like carbs are lower and whatnot. But if it costs me $20 for like one serving, I'm not interested. That's just ridiculous right now. So, yeah, if there's any foods that you can think of that I could add to my little stash here of my sneaky foods that get me some protein, fiber, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear some more awesome suggestions and kind of expand the inventory here. And then other than that, just make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and turn those notifications on because we're posting videos twice a week and you don't want to miss out. Also, like looking at my analytics, it's insane because like 99% of people are not subscribed to my channel, which I get because I'm a small channel and we don't have that crazy community following yet, but we're getting there, we're growing, we're getting better, and I'm seeing a lot of progress in terms of this lifestyle overhaul, so that is always exciting. But other than that, I have nothing else to say, so I will see you in that next video.